Hello, sweet souls. This is DTO in the flow, wishing you an extraordinary moment in time and space. Let's just take a deep breath in through the nose, open mouth, exhale. Hmm. So I'm wearing a shirt that is the Sedona Yoga Festival, and that is where Himalaya and I were going to be right at the onset of COVID-19 in the United States, where there's a state of emergency for Arizona. So we had the car started to be packed and we were going to head out that morning. And of course, everyone kind of knows where they were in that moment. And so this shirt definitely has some energy to it of like the beginning of the COVID-19 chronicles in the written books of human history. And talking about the history, like the piano. Let's just talk about music for a second. Like how amazing. If you see the video here, this is Jeremy Weinglass, who I get to interview today. And this is the power of music, like the harpsichord. And I was classically trained on piano. Jeremy's just been, I think he's like multiple lifetimes he's been playing the piano. He's just so ease and flowing grace exudes from his fingertips. It's so awesome. I've been able to hear Jeremy live plenty of times, as well as be informed with his newsletters and all the live streaming that he's been doing online. So Jeremy Weinglass is an award-winning classically trained pianist with more than 25 years of professional experience. Prior to COVID-19 pandemic, Jeremy was in high demand to perform for corporate and entertainment industry events, charity galas, weddings, private parties throughout Southern California, and maintained long-term residencies at many noteworthy hotels, restaurants, and shopping malls. And of course, this is pre. And now he is live streaming, which is amazing. If you follow him on Facebook, I highly recommend it. He is a California native, grew up in the Bay Area, moved to LA in 2001. He earned his bachelor's degree in music composition from UC Santa Barbara and has a talent and passion for composing. Jeremy's original compositions have been licensed to numerous TV shows, including The Bachelor, My Fair Wedding, and he has awards for performing, composing, and he won the year of the LA Music Award contest. And he has 3 original albums, 8 solo piano cover albums. And with the current stay-at-home, with the global pandemic, everyone's quarantined. He is focusing on releasing music videos on YouTube, which one of those is streaming right now, and live streaming concerts from his living room. And we're going to get into a lot of other accolades and accomplishments of what Jeremy's been doing. He has his keynote concerts that he's going to speak more about. And so I'm going to play, put the audio on. It's kind of interesting watching video without audio. So here's a little snippet from Lover. Bravissimo.
Thank you.
Bravo, bravo. That's something you're not used to as applause, right?
Yeah. We don't get the full applause with the live streaming so much, but thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. So good. Well, first of all, I want to make sure that everyone out there in our audience that is live streaming in this moment, you know that this is a live streaming feed, and we are live on a multitude of platforms right now, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. I'm actually on Twitch right now, experimenting with that platform, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And we encourage anyone out there that is following Jeremy Weinglass already online, you know of him, or if this is your introduction to him, I want to introduce Jeremy as I did in the bio. And I'd love for anyone here to comment, ask a question, share. Let us know where you're located. I actually just saw a friend that commented, Bush, and I know that you are in Europe. Yes, awesome. We haven't even started, and he says it's a great interview. Wow, we're off to a great start. and for fun, comment with your favorite emoji. If that's a piano, musical instrument emoji, then we'll show that on the screen. Yeah. Awesome. So I wanted to kick it off because you and I are both musicians, and here's this world pandemic, and the Greek derivative of the word pandemic, pan means all, demic means people. So this is impacting all people. And for you as a giggy musician, wow, like what are you like? How are you interpreting everything? Like, what is your perspective, and how are you shifting into possibilities to share online?
Well, yeah, that's the question right now. That's for all of us. How are we shifting? How do we maintain what we've done before and how do we evolve past that? Because yeah, as a live artist, oh man, I mean that was everything. That's who I am, who I was. So we actually have to deal with this concept of who we are. Like when that just falls apart, we have to rethink that. And so really embracing live streaming. I mean, I've always wanted to, and so this was an opportunity. So tuning in to the opportunity of live streaming. I always miss the personal connection, and I hope one day soon we'll have that again. But in the meantime, there's a whole wide range of opportunity online, as you know, Dave, too. It's like we can increase our audience. We can increase our audience. Like there's no limitation to that. So it's really finding a consistency, finding a rhythm, and creating new ways to share music, not just playing. I mean, a lot of my live events, some of them were concerts, but a lot of them was background playing and playing behind the scenes or at a restaurant or something. And now I essentially can have the focus and the attention of people and talk about music and kind of combine speaking and playing. And so there's a lot of possibilities. And so we're making it happen one way or another.
Wonderful. And I know that you have a whole team, which is your family, that is supporting you. Even your amazing daughter, who is named after the music vocabulary of the world.
Yeah, our daughter, Melody. Melody is 6 years old. And this is actually, this is, these are a thorn and a rose for me right now. So as parents, I mean, first of all, let's be clear. We didn't sign up to homeschool. So this is a really big part of chunk of our time is maintaining parenting and school. And my goodness, I feel for teachers. I know you're a teacher.
Yes, I am. Yeah, everything's virtual now, and parents have a more of a weight to carry, because you get to be with your kids 24/7 and you get to be with your kids 24/7. It's like, how do you interpret it? I saw someone post recently, like a meme or something that said like, hey, in this year, there will be a lot of change. And then it says, hey, in this year, there'll be a lot of change. Like repeating, like, are you going to perceive that as awesome for change or OMG, there's change, right? So you get to like have whatever experiences. And I love how you are focusing on the word opportunity. And that's really powerful.
Opportunity is an opportunity. So the best part about the live streaming is that Melody gets to come to work with Daddy now all the time. Before the pandemic, it was once in a big while she'd come to a performance because it wasn't always cool to bring a 6-year-old or 5-year-old, to a gig. But now she looks forward to these. We're doing them twice a week now on Facebook and YouTube. In fact, we're going to be streaming right after this at 5 p.m. Pacific. And,
nice. Which reminds me, happy birthday. It was your birthday, and you did a live streaming party online on Zoom. So that's awesome. And I love how, as you said, it's a global audience. Like before your birthday, if physical space would be between, whatever, a 20 feet radius, and there's your friends, you gather. Now, like, you get to have people that came from all different parts of the world and really honor and appreciate you. And I watched your Facebook Live, which you really spoke into this theme of like opportunity to live stream. And as you said, like, there's no physical walls anymore. You can truly be playing, and you have no clue sometimes the impact, unless people comment, which we encourage everyone to do, is to comment here to be like, where are you located? Where are you at? And here's an awesome friend of mine, Linda, she did a live streaming release party the other day. Super awesome. And do you know Kim? Have you met her? She said it's a great interview. Maybe you have to.
This is a real team here. So Melody is my she's kind of my sidekick when she'll jump into the stream. But Kim, my wife and manager. See, I have a wife / manager still, and triple manager because she manages everybody here, our whole family. But we're really a team, and she's behind the scenes making everything happen. She's always been there for the last we've been in business 10 years, at least over 10 years now, 11, and married. Just over that. So she's been my teammate and management, and I couldn't do it without her. And so
absolutely, it takes a team for sure.
Yeah, so we're streaming together, we're learning together, we're doing all of it together. So the good and the bad and the ugly, but we're getting through it and becoming stronger. So So there's a shout out to my wife and
Hey, Kim. It's like the iceberg, right? There's only a certain percentage. Oh, talking about team members, look at this delicious drink that just kind of came into my space here.
Oh, look at that.
I have another extraordinary, as you say, like you can't do it without, those amazing support systems and those human beings that are our, as MLA always speaks about, like our allies, and
Yeah.
who is it that's a part of us? And as you said, I mean, it sounds like, whether you had it in your marriage vows or not, it was like to manage, to do this, to show up as super mom, and like how many amazing ways that you've been able to co-create. And and this is I wasn't planning on asking this question, but like for Himalayan and I, we live together, work together, and I'm her marketing director, and I'm a musician. And actually, we're going to be live streaming at 5 today, so we'll both be like sending out high vibrations out on the planet for this Global Unity Festival. And it's like there's support, and then there's also like, oh yeah, and we're romantically connected. Remember that, honey? So how do you both like figure out the work and the play and the romantic, and for you, of course, it's raising your child, and like how do you find you feel like you're just juggling chainsaws and flamethrowers at the same time and playing piano on your head?
And Frank's joining us too. Hey, Frank,
Frank,
power couple who we all managed to have teammates and work together as well.
For sure.
You mentioned, we've been doing this for 10, 11 years. And in fact, this is actually a key opportunity because it reminding me that we got married in 2008. 8808 was our big wedding day. We had the 888 special.
Perfect.
And while we were on our honeymoon, that was the financial collapse that occurred. And so all of my gigs were lost then. And that was the beginning. We didn't intend to be a team. But she lost all her business. I lost mine. I was playing for tips on Santa Monica Promenade, so we were at a different kind of bottom there, and we just built from there. So I feel like this is I'm remembering how much we had bloomed and blossomed from that seeming a tragic time, and now here we are again with another opportunity. So to grow, and so here we are.
Been there, done that.
kind of.
And you have a +1, so now you have another team member to support you.
Yeah, you're right.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. And so when it comes to being a father, being a husband, being a performer, being a friend, being a soul brother like Frank's here, like what is it that you are able to create on a daily basis? Do you have any routines? That's one of the things that I feel like, because days become hours, become seconds, become years, become decades, as you said, and especially now where we're just in this like time warp almost. What have you created? Maybe a morning routine, a structure? Do you have any nuggets to share with everyone?
Absolutely. Thank you for that question. I, with all the uncertainty, the one thing I knew was important was to keep my daily well-being practice. And so I've developed some over the years. In general, I feel, especially now without the gym was part of my workout routine. So now I'm like, I can't do that. But there's yoga. I got into Qigong this year. So I keep expanding my well-being practice. But I've been that's the one thing I've been consistent on. I'm really proud of that. At least through all this uncertainty, I'm spending at least an hour a day, either outside doing yoga, some kind of groundingness and meditation, and so forth. So I keep track too. I think it's one of my nuggets is to keep track. Use my OCD, if you will, with keeping track of and marking my progress with a lot of things. And so I've noticed I'm kind of proud that I've maintained that consistency through this inconsistency.
That's awesome.
So I recommend all of it. Whatever works, whether it's
yesterday I saw you on your Facebook Live. You did a trail run or just a run, and I felt like I did a run yesterday too. I feel like I've had this stuck energy personally, and it's interesting because we get to like have this gift called time, right? And somehow, for whatever reason, we still are these creatures of habit. And a lot of times, I have a new release that just came out today, so I'm like, I gotta promote it and distribute and all that. And so, what's wonderful, I'm sure, with you and Kim is like you have this team where it's like, okay, here's like pre-production, production, post-production, distribution, rinse, wash, repeat, and here's a cycle. So as you said, and I read in your bio, like you have 3 albums, and you're playing a lot of have songs that are, well received. Everyone in the world knows who Taylor Swift is. And
Right.
so like the song that you played and you shot the music video for it, which is so beautiful. I've really enjoyed watching your YouTube content expand,
Right.
and you have a full opportunity there with an audience. And I love how you integrate, people that know like where I'm in, Southern California, Jeremy's in LA, Diego, and we have this amazing community, this tribe of people,
Oh yeah.
artistic, aggressive, whether it comes like visual arts, music, performing arts, people are able to like really make like Cirque du Soleil kind of style of expression in the world. And so awesome. And when I had my music video with Himalaya, we actually had Tammy Firefly in her video. And I've noticed like it's so cool because we all like we could just dream it up, right? It was like anything's possibly like,
Yeah.
oh, I want to have da 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 in my video. It's not like who would I ever find? Do I have to Google that? You're like, no, I just text my friend that, spins fire, or I text my friend that does silks, right?
Right.
Videos had silks.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and I want to give a shout out to our amazing team that we wouldn't have had without our amazing community of talent and amazing people. So Wolfie, if you know Wolfie, he's our photographer, of course, and he's in our director behind the scenes, and he's helped make this possible. We've done 2 huge rounds of these videos. Yeah, and he's been producing. We've brought people together for these videos, and if you had seen the clip of Lover, you can see we're telling a story there. We have an aerialist got together with from T-Rex and Unifier, and that's Frank's partner, so he's watching too. This is great. We did this up at the what was used to be the castle. It's a beautiful space. It's I always pronounce this wrong. It's called Bell Vista. I think I got it right. In the Hollywood Hills. And this was an amazing opportunity to put a piano outside and perform. This was a live performance, as you can see. And we were celebrating our 10 years in business together. This was shot last August. Oh, I can't hear you now. Let's see.
I was saying that was extraordinary, the level of talent. These 3 things have come up for me, and it's really interesting. I know you do Toastmasters, and you're a really great public speaker. And this is something that I've been like sorting through my mind is like, life is really about 3 main things. It's having a shared vision, a shared purpose, and complementary skill sets. And what I witness you is creating that with your community. So you may not be able to do all those magical contortions and moves with your body, but guess what? Your specialty, your skills are to be on the piano, and you have that shared vision of let's bring together you and your team. I assume that you and Kim brainstormed and everyone else about how the music video is going to lay out. And as you said, the videographer and just amazing people that show up in life. I have a good friend that she always says her love language is showing up. So when people show up on the set, and I've done music videos before, and it's just so powerful when people like, I just want to be there. I just want to like be a part of your music and your self-expression. And that's such a powerful. Now, something just came up in my mind. I remember you had a whole album about months, right? You had October.
Yes. It was called Odyssey. I wrote a song for each month of the year. So 12. I thought someone should do it. There was 12 months, and there's 12 keys, right? So I thought that we have to. Oh, here it is. Here's the Odyssey that as the CD. Was released, I think.
We released it in 2010.
Oh, that was like 10 years ago, 2010.
Oh, beautiful.
And this is, this is the splits on the violin. And now you're playing this is our live performance we did where it came to life with dancing, aerialists. Let's take a listen.
And this is April, correct?
Oh, this is April, yes. My birth month. And right now, here we are.
So gorgeous. Wow. What a team.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, and of course, my first thought was maybe I could go up there and do the aerial work myself, but I realized I was probably better suited at the piano. And like you said, we
complementary skill sets, right?
we all have our niche of what we can do, and but the point is, we can put that out there into the universe, and if we have a solid community of amazing friends and talent, it comes together, and it can be a dream come true, whatever we imagine. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah, and that was a dream come true, because that was the first time to see on a big stage my music being told in the story of dance, and it was phenomenal. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. So my next question is, so you are having an online presence, and remember the old world was live events. Now we shifted into live streaming events, just like our streams of consciousness, right? Everything streams and streams and streams. So I want to share with everyone that is going to be following Jeremy on social media. If you haven't already, you can go to his Instagram page. It's right here. It's Jeremy Weinglass. And I love this, how it's branded, the Weinglass Family Piano Hour. Yes. Yeah. And I've seen pretty much every one of them. It's really amazing to see. And you're on Facebook, YouTube, every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday, Pacific Standard Time from 5 to 7. Yeah. And so for gigging musicians and artists, where this has been our bloodline, same thing for a lot of us. It's like whatever dreams of that tour that you have for 2020, all of a sudden it's like, boom, there's a brick wall called a global pandemic that came in your space. And as you said, you get to remove that wall and be unstoppable by cultivating your current audience of people. So how many people have commented or found you that you have been just like blown away, of people from different countries?
Yeah. I can remember. I mean, there's families that watch in Chile, I'm thinking, definitely
Europe and Australia.
Yeah, Europe, Australia. I'm trying to remember all the. It's been a lot, and people chiming in and giving love and coming back again. So I'm building these audiences. And
wonderful.
And you said you mentioned Twitch earlier, and that's our next frontier. We want to take it to the Twitch universe, and so we are gearing up to move there on Tuesday, I believe. Oh, sure. Here comes Kim. Jump in.
So,
Hey, Kim.
Hey. So, we figured we'd start the live stream with Facebook and YouTube, since that's where we already had some audience, and just get our feet wet there and try and get familiar with all the new technology. But basically, we've been monitoring sort of the engagement and all that. So we decided that we're going to drop Tuesdays on Facebook and YouTube, and we're gearing up to start, not this coming week, but the next week. Hopefully we'll be ready then to start on Twitch. And so we're going to start.
Nice. And are you doing Fridays from 5 to 7?
Yeah, we're going to stick with Fridays 5 to 7 on Facebook and YouTube. And then we're going to switch the Tuesday over to Twitch and then kind of see how that goes.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many like festivals like Lucidity or Global Unity Fest. Even Burning Man's going to do a live stream.
Yeah, exactly.
You have your own base camp, right? The Weinglass Family Camp.
Yeah.
You're right on the Esplanade.
That's right. Everyone gets to be on the Esplanade.
That's amazing. Yeah, I love this. And so I know a lot of people that have followed you and listening to your albums, downloads, streams, live streaming now, been to, shows of yours. As you said, you have residencies at a variety of different locations in Southern California. And of course, you have people over the years that have signed up for your newsletters. And I'm one of those people who gets your newsletters. And I really feel that there's an opportunity right now with your video content that you're creating to have music be like, I know it sounds like it's over words. I don't know. What do you feel when people say music is medicine? Like, how do you perceive that? It's not like is it homeopathic? Is it like pharmaceutical? Like, or what is music? Like, I had this Facebook post I did. You may have seen it, where I put music bypasses the conscious mind and goes directly to the blank. And a lot of people wrote in soul. Heart, right? So it bypasses, because that's the thing, and this as you're playing, like you get into this flow state where you're just playing, and you're playing because you're playing. It's like What are you doing? Have you had those like out of body experiences before where you're almost like watching your fingers play and they're just like playing themselves? Or tell me something like that you've experienced like that. Because I feel a lot of artists that are watching have probably understood or like that whole flow state you get in.
Yeah. Yes. Wow. That's a big question. Let's see. So, standing up for me first is that at a about when I was younger playing, I started maybe when I was like 12, 13, 14. I started lessons when I was 6, 7. So been doing it my whole life. At one point, I started closing my eyes as just to see if I could, and I'll see if I get away with it. And then I started to realize, wait, there's something about this where I can close my eyes and feel deeper into the music. And so it started to be my go-to, unless it was a really tough passage, I have to glance at my fingers. But I often go inward and feel the music myself. And so there are some out-of-body experiences that can happen. You can transcend that nervousness in an audience and kind of go inward and just and lose track of the time elements, and it kind of, our minds are so funny, they play tricks on us. We're in the future and the past, and so it's first of all, for me to provide music medicine for everyone else, I have to feel the medicine myself. So it's always a practice for me to be present, and if I hear my mind going one way, I say, oh, I'm gonna think ahead of this next part, or am I gonna mess up, or did I make a mistake? A mistake, what is that, really?
Yeah,
there's no mistake. We're right where we're supposed to be. So in that, music reminds me that all the time. And when I can dive in, and by the way, my biggest challenge is slowing down. I have to slow down on myself, right?
Like a 50 BPM, maybe 40 BPM.
So if I can slow down myself and tap into that, what feeds my soul, that cuts through the mind chatter, then I can give that space for others to do the same.
Well, anyone that's watching this, if you've heard Jeremy speak already in this interview or on stage, what I love about your skill sets is that you've found a way to infuse music into your guest speaking engagements. So have you done any brainstorming about having like a webinar or a way for people to have you speak on a topic or a theme and then integrate music? Because I know you've done that live on stages.
Right.
So have you thought of leaping into the live streaming world with that?
Yes, thought about it, absolutely. As far as when I'm fairly new to the speaking world compared to piano. I had started Toastmasters 6 years ago, and started to build a career path that way. I've been a guest speaker. I've been a keynote speaker at several Rotary clubs. I had a few engagements that were booked for March, April, May, and they were all canceled. But it's been a fun journey to talk about music, not just to play. And that's why I took this path. I didn't expect to, but I thought, wait a minute, let me embrace more of the speaking elements of music. Let me see if I can inspire people with words as well, and then also play. So my dream of bringing the worlds together is still a vision. And so now with the pandemic, I am now going to cross over to being a keynote speaker on Zoom. So I actually have my first engagement next week. So I am gearing up for that, but it's kind of like starting over, because now everything I had planned with the in-person is now, okay, how can I create a model on Zoom with a different kind of slideshow idea, and then also play live and bring people in a new way. So I am thinking about that, and hopefully the next step is that I could be hired for corporate events or certain people that need to hire entertainment still, and everyone's on Zoom. So this is absolutely an opportunity to keep on that path as well.
Absolutely. Here's a wonderful photo of you at a speaking engagement.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Yeah. And I feel like that's the direction that people get to have, is access to your knowledge and wisdom, because, it is when you're in this creative vibration, and I feel like we're all creatures, right? And therefore of creation, we get to have creativity flow in us and through us. And, there's definitely, it's almost like the, electromagnetic waves of the universe. I feel like people that are musicians somehow just find each other and we collaborate, or we, obviously we're in this interview in this moment. It's really interesting. We're like on the same spaceship or some, I don't know, mothership of sound waves. And it's awesome because there is like, you get to be the sender of that delivery of that message of a guest speaking engagement. And then you tie that into a theme of possibly your music background, you being a family man. And then you get to have that message be received by whomever it is that's out there. And then the feedback is, hey, as I'm sharing with you, like, let's see more of that, like really tie that together. And I recognize too, like, for me, I've developed a music career with a very niche market of people that practice yoga. They're into breath work and movement.
Yes.
And then from there, like, I had no clue I was going down this rabbit hole. And so when you chose to take on that, for guest speaking, I've heard it's scarier than, death or spiders.
Yes. The fear of death is the second greatest fear, and the greatest fear for people is apparently is speaking, public speaking. So giving your own eulogy would be the absolute worst nightmare.
with a spider on your back, right? Tarantula crawling on your hand. You'd be like, okay, I mastered this plane of existence in the cosmos. Now I can, go to the next realm or whatever that is.
But yeah, it is. I mean, it's all practice, really. It's all practice. There's people that
totally.
Toastmasters, which our meetings are still going strong. We're meeting on Zoom, and it's great. It's great to have a whole new experience. And they still are doing the contests, the international speech contests are now all on Zoom. It's amazing how we can adapt in every area. But it's particularly amusing though when you think of public speaking, because it's basically the last thing you think of. Oh yeah, now you have to be a Zoom master now. You can't just know how to work a crowd, because everyone's got to learn the technology.
Yeah, you got to play the Zoom and the keyboard just like you play the keys on your piano, right?
Right.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I'm grateful that you've adapted and shifted into this new offering, really. And I love your generosity of saying, I'm going to play for the people. I'm going to still allow for that creativity to flow through me. And every business owner out there realizes that through the times we get to shift into this. And it's cool that you're jumping on the live streaming, that, as you said, you're experimenting with different platforms like Twitch. And so how can people stream or support you or purchase your music, download your music? Is everything available on your website?
My website, everything is available on the website. We love the support now on YouTube specifically, because that's been one of our biggest focuses now, especially getting the content out. We're lucky that we did record a bunch of content and film a bunch of content just in time before the pandemic. So we still have a lot of fun videos we're going to release, including we're releasing each month of the Odyssey. So each month this year, we haven't released them before, but we're going to release them the entire set throughout the year. So there's always new content coming, as well as a lot of new music videos. Of course, follow me on all the platforms. Really,
yeah. There's so many. It's hard to keep track of them all, right? So these are your 3 albums.
Oh yes.
Choose Love, and I watched you perform at the Fire Garden, Choose Love, and that was a gorgeous moment, because you had the big chandelier, or whatever kind of huge light with like actual fire and the piano, and
yes.
that was an awesome.
That was back the Choose Love album tour release party. That was fantastic. Yeah, bringing music together. Yeah, that was, man, you're bringing back good memories. that was a highlight. But yeah, and if you see 2 Choose Loves, what the deal is the Choose Love in the middle is the piano album, and the Choose Love on the side, that's the single that I recorded, brought 15 of the most amazing artists together on this collaboration. It's the song that we produced. My friend Andres from Analog Vibe, he produced the album. We have friends on there like Krista Richards is featured on there, Lisa Bergeau, some others. Probably a whole bunch of people, Kiyoshi's on there with and even Hassan has a little cameo. We really would like to make this a music video. It doesn't exist yet, but that song is awesome. If you want to go hear the single Choose Love, and then Choose Love was the title. It just had to be my message. So
beautiful.
The piano album as well.
Yeah, and then you have Odyssey, and then you also have Dreams, which is your debut album.
Yes.
Fantastic, amazing.
Yeah, all original music. Yep.
Yes, absolutely. So everyone out there, make sure you go to jeremyweinglass.com. You can see that below. And yeah, really support artists. That's my request to everyone out there. And as what Jeremy was saying before, like how teachers are more valued than ever, I feel that you as a creative soul, it's like I bow to you as well, because you're providing these sound waves that are reverberating into people where maybe there's stress, anxiety, fear of the unknown, what's next. Our whole societal systems that we had in place that we kind of relied on are, not in there as much as we thought they were going to be. And so with this fragility, I recognize that when you're playing your music, there's like, okay, that's a recognizable sound. As I said in the intro, kind of on the fly, I was saying like the harpsichord and these instruments, these are, hundreds of years old. And we now get to have either electronic. I actually have back there, I have a Yamaha. I've always been I have a Roland that my mom, when I bought a Yamaha, my mom's like, Yamaha, I thought you were a Roland guy. So what's to your left here? What kind of piano are we looking at?
Oh, I've got a Roland. It's a 700 GX. It's actually it's about 10 years old now, but it's been my go-to. I've hauled it around to many gigs. By the way, another silver lining, I don't have to haul my gear anymore. It's right here. So much less work.
Totally.
I'm very blessed and grateful as a pianist to show up often to just a grand piano tuned, ready to go. I'm not
perfect.
A pianist, so that's a whole other. but yeah, this is my go-to keyboard, and
nice.
Yeah, and I'm going to be using this, with my rotary speeches, and try to use the music to inspire people as well as the words. Hey, I wanted to run. I literally just came up with an idea right now.
Awesome.
For my title, I'm going to be presenting at the Beverly Hills Rotary on Zoom in a week. And I was wondering if my title should be something like this: "Face the Music," right? Something
cool.
And the reason, because I love using metaphor for music in my speeches, but I think that there's a negative connotation to face the music. But I think face the music can be really poignant for facing the music of where we are, of the pandemic, but face and feel the music, really.
Yeah.
And it's an invitation to
I love that.
Yeah.
And guess what? Just like your Zoom calls, all we are right now are these pixelated little boxes of faces. Even right now, we're these talking heads.
Oh, there you go.
So like faces are like the new reality of everything. There's FaceTime.
Right.
So I love it. You can keep on going and going with that one.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Awesome. Well, what's one last thing you'd like to share to everyone watching right now about what you're up to? If you want to speak into future. I'd love for everyone right now to get on jeremyweinglass.com and sign up for the newsletter, because any direction that Jeremy's going to evolve into, he's going to keep you up to date. He's really consistent, or Kim's really consistent with the newsletters, the wizard behind the curtain. and so I really want that to happen. And yeah, I'd love to have you have any closing thoughts or words.
Yeah, I would say, this is, whether this is in the long haul or not, this is really just taking it day by day and giving ourselves, being gentle with ourselves, gentle with each other, and really taking this time. I feel like there might be a time soon where we may look back and say, did we really use this time wisely? And maybe part of us might even miss it. There might be a moment of, wow, when we had this time, what did we do with it? And the message I set out yesterday on my birthday was, this will be different birthdays for all of us that are celebrating this year, and most memorable. And then instead of the party and the celebration, it's, what are we manifesting? What are we creating right now? And I want to see, it's cliche to say a lot, but this, I really want to say, where will we be a year from now? And what have we done? What were we creating, and what were we meant to create now? And so really to be present now, and do anything you've always wanted to do. This is the time that you can embrace it. And so we're a team, and we are a community, and put the vision together now, and keep creating, and your team will show up and bring us together.
I love that. Yeah. So everyone out there, go ahead directly to the YouTube channel. That is one of many ways that you get to experience Jeremy from a non-physical, what we call it, physical distancing, but you get to really be in these amazing videos. Oh, and I got to show this. I got to show this.
Oh yeah. This was from yesterday.
Oh, love it.
Yeah.
There's some audio for you. Can I get her? Bring in your daughter.
Yes. There she is. Oh, see, this is the birthday celebration. So we got cake out there. We got
Man,
that
living the dream.
Yeah. That was November Rain, Guns N' Roses.
I did recognize that one.
I was rocking out that yesterday. I was playing some of my favorite tracks. So I'm a classic rock guy at heart. I'm classical and classic rock. So
nice.
My favorite.
I love that.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, it looks like we have another comment coming in. And, here we go. It's our brother from another mother. We got Frank.
It is, yes. Mr. B. He does
Mr. B, we've been actually in communication, been supporting him with like some, technical behind the scenes, like how do you live stream? How do you do this? And so we all get to support each other. That's what I love about our community. And Marco, who's a good friend of mine, he was doing a in-person music. We all go like out to like a campground and everyone brings their instruments and jam. He was doing these retreats, and now we're actually in discussion about doing like online retreats and how we can share that. So a lot of musicians here on the feed, which I love. And yeah, I definitely am grateful for you going for it. And as you said, like, as you reflected in this interview, like how you've already had these challenges, you've had these quote unquote stoppable moments that then you get to shift into unlimited possibilities and unstoppability, and for you to show up and still keep that creativity flowing and the content, shared with everyone. And wow, really, really grateful that you're able to come on today, especially the day after your birthday. You're still glistening. Is it the chocolate cake because you're just so happy from the sugar, or is it?
I just kind of get away up here. I mean, to be honest, this was the first day I didn't do my meditation practice. I got sleep. That was my sleep meditation. I feel great now. I'm ready. This is our back-to-back, so I'm getting it ready to do another live.
Totally.
I'll have my daughter probably jump in, so you don't want to miss her. You never know what she's going to do next. So she can
absolutely. Yes. So everyone watching, jump on 5 p.m. And that's going to be on your personal Facebook page and your business page. You restream
Facebook,
everything, right?
Facebook and YouTube now simultaneously. So either one.
Yeah, and we share it to your
and we share it to the Facebook page. So yeah.
Perfect. And I think for a global audience, we'll just have everyone jump on YouTube. That's really a way to support artists, everyone that's watching right now. Some people are like, hey, how could I be of contribution? Really, like, subscribe to someone's YouTube channel that's an artist, because they can monetize that channel, and it's a great opportunity, right?
And not just subscribe, but hit that bell, because that's
totally the notifications.
That's the real one, because then they can get the premieres when they come out too.
Totally.
Yeah.
Just to chime in on that, that's the main thing we're trying to focus on right now, is getting our watch hours up so that we can get to that threshold where we're able to monetize the YouTube channel.
Yes,
so
we're very close. I mean, relatively. Meaning we have the 1,000+ subscribers, and we're going to get those minutes.
Totally. So the hundreds of people watching now, if you can support Jeremy, go directly to the YouTube channel, subscribe, and then hit the bell, get notified. And really, this is a way. It doesn't take more than like 5 seconds, right? YouTube, Jeremy Weinglass.
Exactly.
Boom.
And you can hit play and let it stream in the background while you cook and do whatever you're doing. So
actually, the other night when Hemily and I were in the kitchen, we were live streaming your Facebook on, But moving forward, I'm going to go on your YouTube. I feel it's a great opportunity for all of us. And we already know this, and you had in your the CD that popped out of your website for your albums. It's like, we've been through all of this. You started in 2005, right? There was these compact disc, physical, and it's never at the beginning of the interview I brought up the word streaming, right? We stream, and musicians have had to shift into a streaming platform of how we get our music out there in the world. And now it's all you're doing, really, if we think of it, we're just adding this extra layer called video. So we've been streaming, now it's to get the video streaming. And so everyone out there that's watching, Fridays at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, follow Jeremy Weinglass on all the social media channels, especially his YouTube. Make sure that you catch all of the amazing cover songs and his own original music. And I believe you take requests. Is that right?
That's the best part. I can take requests, and there's many ways to do that. You can chat in a request, or there's also an app called MySet. If you're in the US, you can download that, and then you can see my top repertoire list and make direct
That's awesome.
There's multiple ways to do it, but I love taking requests. I also have a theme now I'm adding each time to focus. So, of
What's
course,
tonight's theme?
yes, tonight's theme is friends. I thought I really wanted to acknowledge friends. And,
cheers.
So yes, cheers. And so I'll take any requests, but tonight, I'll be playing songs that are about friends. So I mean, of course, some of the ones you would think of, like you've got a friend in me, you're my best friend. There's a lot of fun friend songs. With a little help from my friends, of course. So
what about the Friends theme song?
Yeah, and the Friends theme song. Yes, so we're gonna have fun, and I want to acknowledge to everyone that's been supporting us, and so it'll be a fun one tonight. So yes,
absolutely. And everyone listening, like this time in human history, it's really key that we open up and support. Jeremy has a virtual tip jar, and for all of us, like to receive the sound waves, to recognize that you can only watch so many shows on Netflix, you can only do so many things where you just feel like, all right, well, what can I actually do to support someone that I've either been introduced to right now in this moment, or that I've known Jeremy for years, and how can I really recognize, like in these times, like for example, Shakespeare wrote his very famous works during the bubonic plague. Like that's like history. Like there are many people that have artists and composers. Leonardo da Vinci actually designed cities that became like the main design of European layouts, engineering. He did that as well during a plague. And so when you go back in human history, and I love what you said in your Facebook Live the other day, and what you're sharing today is like, what are you going to do a year from now when you had this gift called time and creativity? How are you shifting into being of contribution to yourself? And I love how you're really focused on your self-care, going on runs, working out. So it's really that balance. And for me, that's one of my biggest challenges. Sometimes I get like stuck into the screen world. And even yesterday I did a trail run, and I was like, afterwards, I had this headache really like hitting me. And I've been wearing my blue blockers. I think they help a little bit with all the screen time. But after I did my run, it was like immediate response to my system. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have that headache anymore because I actually sweat and I took care of my body. And so I loved how you were saying that, like, you have your routine and your workouts and your morning just rituals that you have. And I think it's important that we all get to practice that. So anyone out there, if you're inspired, again, you can comment here. Jeremy will respond to that. And I know we've had really great friends here that have commented in. And I'm really grateful that we got to connect here, and especially on the energetic waves of that birthday cake and your family. I love how you had the living room space, like everyone's in like the lounge and and then you had like you had your birthday gifts, and so it's so good. It's so awesome. And as you said, like anyone out there that's experienced a birthday or will be experiencing a birthday during this time in human history, it's a very interesting moment. And as you said, it's not like necessarily like having a big party to celebrate. It's more like, okay, I am where I am. Here's what I'm get to create and play piano in my own home. And I love the fact he said, I don't have to load my car and put gas in my car, and, and like wear a 3-piece suit necessarily. And it's not the bad, and I love I love dressing up in general. And it's different. If you're hauling your gear, you're going to sweat. Then you get to the place, you got to set up. Then you got to go change again. You're like, okay, am I too sweaty to play? And so these are like behind the scenes conversations that musicians sometimes have. And it's like, whoa, I could just like cruise out of bed, jump the shack, get ready. Oh, I just go down to my living room. Okay, cool. Here I am. My piano's there. I didn't have to, even though it is like a mini workout for musicians.
I'm in my boxers now. You don't even.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows what's on the lower torso of all of us that are streaming right now? That's all we got right here.
Yeah.
So awesome, brother. Appreciate you.
Much love. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And we all get to choose love and choose to follow Jeremy Weinglass, choose to listen to his album Choose Love, as well as Odyssey, as well as Dreams. These are amazing albums, whole trilogy, and there's more content being generated often. And I know that there's tons of like digital dust and all these ideas that are just being unearthed, as you said, like doing guest speaking engagement on Zoom, webinars. So if everyone follows his newsletter, you'll be able to stay informed. And again, just thank you, brother, for shining your light and showing up on camera, live streaming. And as I said, every Friday, 5 p.m. So everyone jump on, follow on YouTube. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
You rock.
All right. See you, brother.